What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Double A Hef here with another dose of the True Scope. So, it's been a minute since I've actually did a live on this channel. So I actually just got done doing a live on the other channel, the Moss Media channel, with my co-host Big Mike. We were talking about the whole Ime Udoka controversy. So if you want to check that out, definitely hop on over to the other page, check it out. Let us know what you think about it in the comments below. Please remember to like, share, subscribe on that channel. But for tonight, what I wanted to talk about on this channel is actually like a continuation of a video that I released roughly about a week ago about Don Lemon and what he said about reparations, all that stuff. So basically, you know how YouTube is. I made the video about Don Lemon talking about reparations, and then a few days later, YouTube is saying, "Oh, you might want to watch this video. You might want to watch this video." So I clicked on this video with this brother. I don't really know his name. It's hold on, I'll tell you his name. Anthony Brian Logan. That's the name of his channel. This brother. So, like I said, I don't know him from nowhere. But I clicked on it to see what he was going to say. Now I had an idea on what the dude was going to say based off of. I want to make this like the whole screen so y'all can see it, how I see it. But clearly that's not working. Yeah, I don't think that's any better. Maybe if I do it like this. Hold on, bear with me. I'm trying to get this to show. All right, that's better. All right, so anyway, this dude Brian Logan, who's the black dude in the bottom left corner with the glasses and the hat that says 1776, and he has the two American flags behind him and all that 1776. So I had a feeling on what this brother was going to say, and then once he began to say it, and I'm going to play the video. Once he began to say it, I was like, you know what, I need to do a video on this, because too often people try to lump me into categories like the one that this guy is in. And that's just not the case. When I speak about things, and I make it clear, it's backed in one, the Bible, and second, and morals and principles stemming from the Bible, but also from from within. I'm not like these little puppets out here. And again, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on this dude. I don't know him. All I do know is that I had an idea on how he was going to approach this topic. And then when he did exactly how I thought he would, I said to myself, this is part of the issue. Because let me just play the video. Let me just play the video and break it down that way. So I already did a video on Don Lemon about, all of that. So if you want to watch that video, go check that one out. So I'm going to skip all that. And I'm just going to get into the part where this guy's okay.
Better myself. I've been saying that for a long time in different ways. I don't know who she is again, but this was very well done. Hillary Fordwich is her name, royal commentator. That was fantastic. Let me come back here so you can see me clearly. That was great. Because I think here's the thing, and people that are reparation supporters, if they're for reparations, they're gonna be mad at me. I understand they're gonna be mad at me, but just hear me out. You can't just point to the people that have the most money or who you think have the most money and say, hey, you got to pay for reparations, while ignoring everybody else that was involved.
Before I let him continue, I just want to say this, and I said this in the original video that I did with the Don Lemon thing, right? Don Lemon's problem, and that he broached the topic of reparations not knowing enough about the topic of reparations. Therefore, that quote-unquote Caucasian woman was able to just come and say, boom, bing, pow, and then he just was sitting there looking like, all right. And then other news, you know what I mean? So no, and the issue with people talking about reparations because they want it, that don't understand anything about it, it's actually the same issue for people like this brother who are against reparations, but yet try to talk about it knowing nothing about it. They don't have understanding of actual history and actual context on what happened and why people want reparations. So again, I'm gonna allow him to continue, and then I'll get back into it.
If we're going to talk reparations, let's talk about the whole thing holistically, not just in pieces. Talk about everybody that was involved. Talk about the Europeans, talk about the Africans, talk about the Arabs, talk about everyone that was involved. It's not just, okay, the Africans, they were the victims, the Europeans, they were the ones that pillared and plundered. You know, when you were in school, they didn't get into the details of it usually about the slave trade, but they told you what it was. It was a slave trade, not the slave kidnap. Okay, the slaves were not kidnapped. The white man was not pulling up to the shores of West Africa and raiding villages and taking slaves and putting them on the boat. That's not what happened. The slaves are already right there in the cage, nice and ready. And they would take the slaves in the cage, put them on the boat, and then in return, the leaders of these African nations would get supplies, goods, hand mirrors, spices, umbrellas, stuff like that. That's the truth. That's the reality. Now, I'm not trying to say the Europeans were okay and it was fine for taking slaves and engaging in slavery, but neither were the Africans, neither were the Arabs who also engaged in slavery. And they talk about places like Timbuktu, but Timbuktu was like a notorious slave trading post because it was a point where you can go straight up from West Africa, like through like Burkina Faso, all of that. You can go straight up to.
Look, the brother may mean well, but he doesn't know what he's talking about. So look, let me just get a few points out there very quickly. First and foremost, slavery. Well, actually, let me make my screen bigger so I can see me. Slavery has been around as long as human beings have been around, right? Right? Yes. Now, with that being the case, when we're discussing reparations as it pertains to quote unquote the blacks of captivity, aka the African Americans in America, right? When we're talking about reparations as it pertains to this particular group of people, we have to say, okay, well, what was different between slavery and the slavery that's been around since humans have been around? Now, there's many differences, right? But let me just start with the biggest one that I'm going to focus on. These slaves, right, were taken over the Atlantic Ocean, and they were subject to what's called chattel slavery, which is you are a slave for your entire life. All your kids' offspring and their offspring are going to be slaves their entire life. Slavery had not worked like that. It hadn't. It had not worked like that until that point. So when people say, "Oh, you know, like this dude," oh, what about the Arabs and what about the Africans? And look, the slavery that the Europeans was doing over here was unheard of over there. Now, who am I to say that if had they known it was going to go down like that they wouldn't have been a part of it? I don't know, and I'm not going to sit here and try to pretend like I know that. I don't. But what I do know is that they didn't know that either. They didn't know that was going to happen. Okay, because that's not how slavery, for the most part, had happened. Now, don't get me wrong. Like all different groups of people that walk the earth have been enslaved at some point in time, right? Quote unquote, whites were slaves, and quote unquote, black people did horrendous things to them, skinning them and all that stuff, and crazy stuff, right? But again, when we're discussing reparations for quote unquote African Americans, we have to take all that into account. All right, all slavery wasn't created equal. One, and two, 40 acres and a mule. That was promised. That is basically a reparation that was never given. So again, I've made a whole video about this already. I just wanted to touch on this to talk about people like this brother who may mean well, but just don't know enough. And it's kind of sad because we live in a time where the same platform he's using to put out his message, he could use to learn more before he does that. So let me just play a little bit more. I haven't played this video past this point, so I don't know what he's going to say. Can find out together.
Timbuktu, and then go across the Sahara to the Ottoman Empire, where they also were engaged in this slave trade. And that much more brutal journey than going in the ship, because you walking on foot. You walking across the Sahara Desert.
Sorry, I don't know what's going on.
Good luck for food and water. You would die just walking on your feet out there. So the whole practice of slavery was.
So did you hear what he just said? Good luck finding food and water. You'll just die walking on your feet out there. Brother, quote unquote Africans have been walking through that terrain for hundreds of years. Number one. And number two, you sound foolish. No disrespect to you, but you do sound foolish, because ultimately what you're saying is they were using that road, that channel to take slaves from Timbuktu all the way to the west coast of Africa. That's what you're saying. But then you're saying it was so bad. Well, if they're taking these people through it, it's bad for them as well, right? So don't you think that they know what they're doing? Number one. And number two, that they're not gonna like just let their people die off because they need to sell them or to barter them, trade them, right? You know, so like you're not even using your own brain there. You know, like, does that make sense to you that it's so horrible? Number one, for the people that already lived in that area, right? They already understand the heat, you know, and stuff. They already have a decent grasp on it. You know, that's completely different from chaining people up on top of one another and putting them on these ships where they're going across the sea for months on end, and they have to literally defecate and urinate on top of each other. And when illness, you know, came about, it spread like wildfire. But yet you are trying to make the comparison to that, to the slave trade or the slave movements from Timbuktu to the west coast of Africa. That's what you're trying to do, man. And again, I'm not sitting here to try to play the game or what's worse and, you know, who had it. No, that's not it. Okay, I'm not interested in doing that. You know, I'm interested in basically letting people like this dude know, and people that think like this dude know that it's one thing if you have an educated stance on reparations or not. So if you have an educated stance on why you are against reparations, then all right, then let's hear it. But if you do not, then, you know, how about you just sit that one out? You know, sit this one out, champ. Okay, sit this one out.
Was brutal, but we can't compartmentalize and ignore certain things when it just is convenient for us to do so. I think right now with slavery reparations, people kind of have envy, and they say, oh, okay, well, the Kingdom of Great Britain, you guys are this first world advanced nation. You built your empire on the back of slavery. Therefore, you owe us some money. They only owe money is the reason why they owe money to people that think that way is because they are viewed as a successful nation that benefited from slavery. What about nations that built themselves on slavery that are not as successful? They don't really count because they're not as successful and popular as Britain, the Kingdom of Great Britain, United Kingdom. It doesn't make any sense. Everyone who was responsible should be responsible.
Well, hold on, brother. If you're gonna say, what about the nations that built up on off of the backs of slavery but aren't as successful or as rich? You gotta say which nations you're talking about. Okay, like, and then also just to build on that, my man. if people want reparations from Great Britain, and again, in the original video, I already spoke about the whole Great Britain aspect of it. Don Lemon, I don't know why he was asking Great Britain. I said, if anything, he should be asking the American government, not Great Britain. All in all, do I have an issue with people that want to ask Great Britain? No, I mean, hey, they're culpable. I think that, you should start with the U.S. government, but hey, if you wanted to go that route, knock yourself out, but at the end of the day, if you're culpable in something, then, it's called being accountable to it. And this guy over here, he's talking as if like he's some freaking, like, citizen of the United Kingdom. Like, oh, why should they have to pay? Like, but yet he's repping the United States so hard. He's
responsible, not just the most successful. And I'm gonna say this because
how about you say I
don't even like
which
the idea of reparations at all. Because
you don't like the idea of reparations.
The guys I know, black guys and girls I know, we are here getting money. We're getting money. It's 2022. We're in America. It's so much money out here. It's kind of like your bet.
Well, look, I understand something. That's a good point, but I don't know what that has to do with reparations. I don't, like, for instance, if I'm a millionaire, right? I'm a millionaire, and I owe somebody money, or someone owes me money. No, I'm a millionaire, right? Someone owes me money, and say it's $5, right? Do I sit there and say, well, I'm getting all this money, I don't need it, yada. It's not about need or anything like that. It's about that person owes me money, right? That person owes me $5. So that person needs to pay me $5. Doesn't matter how much money I have. That's irrelevant. Doesn't matter if I got 10 million, 100 million, a billion, $10 trillion in the bank, or if I have only $1 in the bank. You owe me money. So we have to get back to the root. The root is, or the root question is, are quote unquote blacks owed reparations? And the answer to that is yes. Quote unquote blacks are owed reparations because the nation was built on their backs. The lineage was all forced into slavery. Father, son, grandfather, so on and so forth, just slave. Right? They were able to make all this great wealth off the quote unquote, literally the literal backs of quote unquote blacks, and then promised 40 acres and a mule, and that was not given. So yes, sir, if the question is, do quote unquote blacks deserve or should they get reparations? The answer is yes. Now the next question is it likely that it's going to happen? That's a totally different conversation. And, I would say no, it doesn't look likely, and I'm not going to sit here and, go to bat for over reparations day in and day out, because I just don't see it happening. Right. But at the end of the day, does that mean that, oh, well, I should be against people getting reparations or whatever? No, hell no. Because at the end of the day, it's still owed. It's still owed. So, because I hear other people say it, not just this dude, oh, there's money out there. Yeah, no, definitely do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Make your money. You want to start a business, or, you're some kind of, artist, whatever. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? I'm an artist. I'm a musician. I'm a photographer. I do my own stuff. I've always been doing my own stuff, always. So, I tell people, brothers on this channel all the time, figure out what you're good at and do that. Okay, because everything not for everybody, but that has nothing to do with the fact of the matter that we are quote unquote blacks are owed reparations. Period. So I don't understand, and I say that like tongue in cheek. I don't understand how this guy can come out here and say, "Oh, I'm not for reparations because, hey, just go out there and get your own money." Yada yada. They are not like those are exclusive thoughts. They're very exclusive. You can do both. I can get my own money and still say, hey, yeah, no, they owe us reparations. No, I got mine. But if I ever get that, I'm just going to add it to mine anyway. You know, you don't have a stance of, oh, I'm against it. Like, no, that's not how it works. Because if someone owes you $10,000, you're not just gonna be like, oh, well, you know, shit, I'm getting this money. No, you're like, no, he owed me $10,000.
Begging for money at this point. I'm gonna keep it all the way real. I know that's gonna be a bad thing to say. I know that might be a soundbite, but
well, it's not a bad thing to say. It's just an uninformed thing to say, my dude. It's uninformed. It's uninformed because at the end of the day, are some people that are out there on the front lines asking for reparations? Are they doing it because like that's the only means for them? You know, and that may be considered begging. Yeah, but at the end of the day, if the bill collector comes to collect the bill, is the bill collector begging? No, that's not. That's not begging when you come to collect the bill. If someone owes you money and you come to collect, are you begging? If I owe you $10,000, my dude, and then you come to me saying, hey, you know, I need that $10,000, would you accept it if I said, man, get out of here with your begging ass? Why are you always begging for money? Why are you begging me for that $10,000, man? You got money. Why you begging me for this? No, I highly doubt you will go for that. You know what I'm saying? If you're a man, you're not going to go for that. So no, you know, and again, this is the only video I've ever seen of this dude's, but I'm getting this vibe from him that you know, he's saying these things for clicks and for sound bites. You know, again, I don't know much about him, or actually I don't know anything about him, but that's just the vibe I'm getting. So let me continue this.
But at this point, you're begging for money. That's all it is. Go out there, make some of yourself, get money, get a skill, and move forward. Move forward. We have black multimillionaires, billionaires in the world, in the country, and it's going to keep rising up every year. Okay? We've come a very long way from slavery in the United States. We've come a very long way from slavery in the world, although in certain parts of the world, you still got slavery like Africa, China. But anyway, I digress. And times are coming back to Africa to enslave them again, but that's a different story, and I won't go down that road. The point I'm making is this. In America especially, we have a troubled history. Slavery is part of it. We've moved beyond that, and we've progressed in the true way, not in the quote-unquote progressive way, but in the true way. We've gotten beyond that, and now we're in an age where there's so much money out here, it's just up for taking. So if you are focused on the past and trying to get paid from the past, and that's where you are, you're not looking at what's right in front of you. Like, you got a whole pot of gold right in front of your face. A whole pot of gold right in front of your face, but you're looking over there.
See, again, so that part I agree with, like I said already. I'll say it one more time. I agree with that. This is the land of, you know, the bag's out there. You just gotta get it, right? But that has nothing to do with the fact that we're owed something. Now, if people want to just literally live out the rest of their existence waiting on reparations, now obviously, yeah, that's an issue. That's an issue. And those people doing that, they're lost anyway. You know what I'm saying? Already, they're already lost anyway. But to overgeneralize those people, that's the issue. That's my concern. You know, because again, these things are independent of one another. Yes, you should be focusing on yourself and doing what you got to do for your family to put yourself in the most advantageous position possible, right? And also, yes, don't forget that the U.S. government owes you reparations. You know, and again, to this brother, if you can say what you're saying, like, hey, yeah, no, do this, you know, get the bag on your own. But that don't mean that you also have to turn around and try to knock people for saying that reparations are deserved or owed. You know, like it's a very simple concept, you know, and I don't know. I don't know what's up with this dude, man.
In the past at reparations, trying to have that come in. And even if it did come in, what's it going to, your own tax money, printing it, spend it, and then you're going to have more and more inflation. And same as what we got going on right now. It's not going to be beneficial. It's not going to help you at all. And it probably won't even happen anyway. So what's the purpose in focusing on it? If you want to talk about that, in my opinion, it's like a hobby, just something to do. It's like going to a book club and reading fictional books. Focus on getting money right now where you are. What Booker T say, cash your bucket where you stand, cash your bucket where you are. Just do that, because if you just cash your bucket, sit your bucket down, you have a whole pot of gold fall in it at this point. Minimal effort, get some skills, get a trade, and progress in life, move forward in life. That's what I would say. Because if you want to go back to slavery time and talk reparations and say who was responsible, who's owing money, then it won't just be the successful person. It'll be everybody. And ultimately, if it's going to get paid, it'll be you as an American who's on the hook for the bill. That's how that works. But I think I'll leave that right there for now.
No, not quite. Not quite. There has been reparations that have been paid out to other demographics by the U.S. government, and that's not how it went out. So, again, like I said, maybe this brother means well. I don't know, but based off, like listening to him and also so this guy, yeah. Let me see what else this guy's got on this channel real fast. He almost got a million subscribers. That's something, huh? You know what I'm saying? Not knocking him. Hey, get yours. Get yours, brother. But that reparation take is just what the hell's going on with this? There's a lot to be desired. I don't know what this is on this guy. Yeah, I don't know what this is. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, but anyway, y'all. So back to the main topic of this like podcast or episode that you want to call it. The title: Who is leading you? Now, I was rewatching the movie Scarface maybe about like a month ago, I guess. And when you watch something and then you watch it again, you pick up on things that you didn't notice. And then when you watch it again, you pick up on more and more things and more things. I've seen Scarface so many times. But I hadn't watched it in probably 10 years, at least 10 years. From the last time I just watched it. So, I was like into it, like, oh shit, I forgot about all of this stuff, right? So I'm talking about who is leading you, because in that movie, Scarface, played by Al Pacino, great movie. If you've never seen it, go check it out. It's one of those classics. You got to check it out, right? And that goes without being said. But in that movie, especially towards the end of the movie, we see. I'm letting you know right now, if you haven't seen the movie, there's going to be some spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie, stop the video now, because I'm about to start talking about things that happen in the movie. So at the end of the movie, towards the end of the movie, Scarface's right-hand man. Now, Scarface is Tony Montana. That's his name. So Tony's right-hand man, his boy that he came over with from Cuba, all that stuff, right? Started, actually, it was dating Tony's sister on the low. Now, Tony had made it clear from the jump, like, yo, like, don't mess with my sister, like, leave her alone. You know what I'm saying? I don't want her, like, in this lifestyle that we're in. I don't want her no part of it. I will only for pure, like, yada yada, right? His sister and his right hand man, they wind up getting together anyway on the low. The sister had moved out of the mother's house The mother called Tony saying, I don't know where she's been, yada yada. I heard she's been like, around this area. So Tony goes over to the area, goes to the house, knocks on the door. His right hand man answers the door. And then Tony's looking like, what the hell? Like, like this, what? Like this is he was expecting to see someone else. And then past his right hand man on the stairs, he can see his sister coming down with like a robe, like a bathrobe, basically, and then he sees her and looks back at the right hand man and then kills the right hand man. He shoots him like twice, I think, or maybe once in the stomach, and then he falls to the floor, and then the friend bleeds out and dies. So the first part of this video is who is leading you. For the friend, he died. He lost his life because he allowed a woman to lead him. And I say that because Tony made it clear to him she was off limits. Off limits. You know what I'm saying? And look, they had their pick of the litter. They had all this money, like they were kingpins. They had money, they had power, they had all of that. All of that. But this dude allowed, this woman to say, hey, don't worry about him, whatever. Like, I love you and yada yada, all that stuff. And I'm not sitting here saying that she didn't love him, but at the end of the day, he knew that he shouldn't have been doing that. He should have had enough respect to not do that for his homie. One, and two, if he wasn't to do it, he should have spoke to the friend about it again. Because after Tony shot him and he fell down and he was dying, the sister ran to the body as she's bleeding out, and she looks at Tony and says, "We just got married. We were going to surprise you." Well, no. Well, first of all, yeah, you were definitely going to surprise him, but that's the issue, because the best friend knew better already that wasn't going to fly. So again, he allowed the woman to lead him right to his damn death, right till his death. And again, not later on in the movie, but fast forward a little bit. Tony's wife left him. I forget her name. What the hell is Tony's wife's name? I don't remember her name. But anyway, she left him, but he had also got her from the old kingpin. And then he allowed also many things. He started, doing blow and all that stuff. So his mind wasn't in the right state anyway. But he allowed all of that stuff to cloud him. And just like his best friend, he winded up dying. If you're just tuning into the video, I'm talking about Scarface. As you can see, the title of the video is "Who is Leading You?" So in the movie Scarface, the best friend, Tony Montana's best friend, got killed by Tony because he allowed Tony's sister to lead him. And I'm making this video, brother, because you need to be the one leading you. Now, ultimately, the Most High is the one that's leading all of us, right? Or who we should be following, right? His statutes and commandments. That's what we should be following. But with that being said, all your decisions and choices should be yours. You make your decisions and choices. You lead you and your family. You lead your wife. You lead your children. Okay? That's what you are supposed to do as a man, not the other way around. And I know some people may not see it at first glance like that. Oh, well, was she really leading him or whatever? Yes, she led the nigga right to his death, just like Eve led Adam right out the goddamn Garden of Eden. Because again, hey, Adam knew. Adam was instructed just like Eve, hey, not to do this, and just like them, Tony instructed them like, oh. He told her, I don't want you going to none of these clubs. I don't want you being around none of this stuff. And then he told Manny, his the right hand man, I don't want you to know around my sister. I don't want nobody around my sister. I want her she's better than all that. All that stuff, right? And then they both, they both disobeyed, but she coerced Manny into it for the most part. You know what I'm saying? I still blame Manny because he's the man. Just like I still blame Adam because he's the man. Adam's a little bit different because Manny should have known better. The thing about Eve and Adam in the garden is that Eve had bitten from the forbidden fruit, from the tree of knowledge. So she had knowledge. She was able to coerce the knowledgeless Adam, because she had that one up. Still, he still knew better, so he's still wrong in that regard. But like if you have somebody with an IQ of 150 and someone with an IQ of 70, I think that the person with IQ of 150 is going to be able to coerce the lower IQ person into doing things easier than the other way around, right? So I digress. Brothers, you need to make decisions in your life that you can live with. You need to be able to look at yourself in the mirror and say, you know what? You know what I'm saying? For better or for worse. For better or for worse. I'm in a situation because of me, or I'm in a situation because of me. You know what I'm saying? I make these decisions and I live with it and I die with it. Either which way, you own it. So if you're not leading yourself, if you don't have a firm grasp on whether or not you think you are leading yourself or not, then hey, press pause on life. Press pause. And if you have to, write some stuff down. Write some stuff down. Write it down. Hey, the people in your life, the decisions that you make, or what's going on in your life. Like, what are you doing in your life? And why are you doing that? Are you doing that because that's what you want to do? Or are you doing it because someone else told you that's what you want to do or what you need to do? Because at the end of the day, time just keeps going. Like right now, if I stop speaking for 5 seconds, I don't get those 5 seconds back. Those 5 seconds have come and gone. Okay? So it's what you do with your time and decisions that you make, because you don't get time back. So you need to spend your time how you want to spend your time. And don't be coerced, don't be fooled by others. Okay? Because what'll happen is when they get you to do something that's not beneficial for you, and then you have to go through that, you're going to be going through it alone. And as you're going through it alone, you should be reflecting and saying to yourself, damn, I shouldn't even be in a situation. Like, for instance, when Manny was bleeding out after Tony shot him, he probably was thinking, I knew I shouldn't have did that. I shouldn't have did that. He told me. Now, did he think that his friends was going to kill him? Probably not. Probably not. But at the end of the day, he was warned. All right, brothers. So consider this video a warning video. Lead yourself and be willing to live and die by the decisions that you make, because that's what's going to happen anyway. So why not embrace it? But anyway, y'all, do me a favor, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We are so close, so close to 300 subscribers. Please like, share, subscribe, get the word out. Let's get to that 300 subscriber count. All right. And I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been on the channel since the beginning. Thank you to everyone that's been on the channel since today. Yeah. Thank you all the same. I appreciate it. It really helps the channel grow. It helps me get greater insight on what y'all are thinking and what's going on in y'all mind, y'all world. Because again, when I speak about things, I speak about it from my perspective, from how I see it and how I understand things to be. So it's great to hear from other people and other people's perspective. So with that being said, y'all, it's getting kind of late. It's 10:18 where I'm at, and my phone is dead. So I'm about to actually I'm not gonna go to sleep. I got some books I gotta read. So that's what I'll be doing. And again, I think I said before. Sorry, this was crap on my phone. I think I said before. I definitely want to not start a book club, but I do want to have like a book community on the channel where y'all leave in the comments below some good books that y'all recommend reading. I'll get them. I'll read them. I'll recommend some books that y'all should be reading, checking out, just to you know grow the knowledge base. You know what I'm saying? Because again, knowledge is power. That is 100% true. Knowledge is power. But with that, if we want our people, especially, well, mainly when I say our people, I'm talking about quote unquote black men. All right, I'm speaking. I'm speaking to us, the men. What good is it if only one man has all the knowledge or hoards the knowledge? You know, so the best way that we could, all share in that is to literally communicate that and share in that. So, the books I'm reading right now, they're not anything like crazy substantive or not like that. It's just one book is the Carmelo Anthony memoir. I bought that because you know, growing up I loved Carmelo. You know what I'm saying? I loved this game. Even though like it wasn't championship style basketball, but he was just one hell of a scorer. He could score like all over the place. Something about his game, man. I just really so anyway, I got that book I think 2 days ago. So I've been trying to put some time to decide to read that, and then I'm also reading another book on martial arts, because obviously those that's been on the channel, y'all know, I have I don't want to say a boxing background, but I've definitely been in some boxing gyms, and like that's really like my thing. I'm not like a quote unquote kung fu martial arts, something like that, but I work with this guy, and he is into all of that. So one day, long story short, one day he was talking about he used to have a gym where he would train and all sorts of stuff, and then he's trying to get back into that, and he wants people to train with. And then so we started talking, and then I was asking him questions about like like boxing stuff and how would he approach it being like a martial artist. And it was very like eye opening, like the stuff that he was doing. Kind of like a Michael Jai or Jay, whatever you want to call him, Michael Jai White, Michael J White. That guy, pretty much very very similar to what he does. So I was like, wow, that's actually pretty cool to see it up close with your own eyes. So then, we were talking and talking and talking. Then I started to understand, like, hey, all this stuff is different. It's different. There's Jeet Kune Do, there's Wing Chun, there's the other forms of kung fu. Like, it's this huge umbrella. So it's intriguing to me. So what I do when things intrigue me or interest me or pique my interest, whatever you want to call it, I research them. I read on them. I watch videos on them, and I do a deep dive. So I invite all y'all brothers to do that. If you're interested in something, hey man, the best way to learn more about it and to fully understand it, or like to come as close as possible to fully understanding it, read as much as you can about it, watch videos, and like breathe it in, and keep asking questions, and hows and whys and hows and whys, and why is it relevant, or what's the major distinctions between these things? Why is there a distinction at all? You just go down a rabbit hole. You just go. Well, at least that's how my brain works. You just go down that rabbit hole. You just keep going and going and going and going and going. I can't tell you guys how often I'll be on my phone googling something, and then as I'm like reading through, I'll see something else, and I'll click on that, and then just go, and then just keep going and going and going and going and going. And next thing you know, I got like 18 windows open. 18, they all started from this one window, and I just went all the way through. And then I'll read, and I'll work my way backwards. Work my way backwards. Okay. So on my phone, oh my God, I have so many different tabs open and each tab has like literally like 18 different windows, and it's it's how I do, you know. But anyway, I'm about to get off because, like I said, I gotta read these books. But if you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you haven't checked out my latest short film, which I'm going to be starting a series on, it's called The King's Request. Please check that out. Let me know what you think in the comments below, and there will be more coming soon for that. If you haven't seen my first short film called Alcoholism, um, check that out. Now, again, both these short films are roughly about 5 minutes long. Check them out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you have any ideas or if you want to help out on the channel, please, let me know in the comments below or shoot me an email. You want to be on the show. You disagree with what I say. Maybe you agree with the things that I say and you still want to be on the show. Let me know. It's as easy as you having a Restream account, which is free. And then we can set up a date and then, have a debate or have just a civil discourse about whatever. All right. But anyway, y'all, be well. Peace.